Hello all. Today we will be doing the assertion based questions from chapter number 1, that is variation in psychological attributes. Let's start. Okay, so first of all, in the assertion based questions, we have two statements. First is the assertion and second is the reason. To solve this assertion based question, we need to read the assertion first, find it out whether it is true or false. Then we need to read the reason part. We need to find out whether the reason statement is true or false. If both the statements are true, then to we are going to read the assertion, put a because, and then read the reason statement. If it is going to make sense, then we say that both A and R are true and it is the correct explanation. If both statements are true, but it does not make sense after putting because after assertion, then we are going to say that it is not the correct explanation. And if the statements of assertion and reason, one of them are false, then we tick the C part or the D part. Let's start with the first question. Assertion is past processes operate on a knowledge base developed either formally through reading, writing, experimenting, or informally from the environment. This particular statement is true. Past stands for planning, attention, arousal, simultaneous successive processing. Now, in the past model, we are developing the knowledge either formally, that is directly, or indirectly, that is from the environment through observation. Now, this statement is correct. We will now read the R part. The functioning of these processes are not interdependent on each other. This statement is false. They are interdependent on each other. If you are having the attention, then only that information will go to the brain for processing part. So this statement is incorrect. So the answer for this question will be A is true and R is false. That is C part. Question number 2, assertion. There may be many people who are academically talented but are unsuccessful in their own life. The statement is correct. There are people who are academically good, but it is not necessary, it does not guarantee that they are going to be successful in their lives. So the statement is true. The reason is the source of their difficulty is lack of emotional intelligence. Now in the chapter number 1, we have we have read that both the intelligences, that is intelligence as well as emotional intelligence, are important to be successful in life. So this statement is correct. Answer for this question is going to be A, that is both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 3, assertion. Alfred Binet was the first psychologist who tried to formalize the concept of intelligence in terms of mental operation and has gave the concept of intelligence quotient. Now the assertion is false. Alfred Binet, yes, definitely he was the first psychologist who has formalized the who has given the concept of intelligence, but he has not given the concept of intelligence quotient. It was William Stern who has given the concept of IQ. So the correct answer for this question will be A is false, but R is true. Question number 4. Assertion is past model explains that state of arousal is basic to any behavior as it helps in attending to the stimuli. Arousal and attention enable a person to process the information. This statement is correct. In past model, the first thing is arousal and attention. That means you should be conscious and you need to pay attention. You need to focus on the stimuli. Then only that information will go to the brain to process. Reason is an optimal level of arousal focuses our attention to the relevant aspects of a problem. Too much or too little arousal would interfere with attention. This statement is also correct. There should be an optimal level of attention. Then only that information will go to the brain. If it is too less or too much, we will not be able to attend to a stimuli. So the answer for question number 4 will be A. That is, both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 5. Assertion. The theory of primary mental abilities states that intelligence consists of primary abilities, each of which is relatively independent of the others. This statement is correct. Theory of primary mental abilities was given by Louis Thurston, and he has given 7 primary mental abilities, and each ability is independent. That means it does not depend. Second reasoning part is, this theory explains that intelligence consists of the abilities operating at 2 levels called level 1 and level 2. Now this statement is incorrect. Primary mental abilities are of 7 types. It is not operating at 2 levels. The 2 level was hierarchical model of intelligence that was given by Arthur Jensen. So the correct answer for this question will be that assertion is true but R is false. Question number 6. Assertion. Psychometric approach considers intelligence in terms of a single index of cognitive abilities. Now this assertion is correct. All the theories of intelligence is divided into 2 approaches. One is psychometric and another is information processing. Psychometric talks about the structure dimension and it considers the intelligence as a single index. So assertion is true. The reason is it describes the process people use in intellectual reasoning and problem solving. Now this reason is incorrect. Psychometric approach do not talk about or put emphasis on how the person is going to process. They do not talk about what kind of a reasoning or problem solving will be used by the intellect person. So for this question, the answer will be that assertion is true, but reason is false. That is the B part. Question number 7. Children from disadvantaged homes, when adopted into the families with higher socioeconomic status, exhibit a large increase in their intelligence score. This is true, and this is given under the heading of nature and nurture. The reason is environmental deprivation lowers the intelligence, while the rich nutrition, good family background, and quality of schooling increases the intelligence. The reason is also good. Both the statements are from the part where the researcher are supporting that environment is important. Now for this question, the answer is going to be the A. Both assertion and reason are true, and this is the correct explanation. The children who belongs to disadvantaged home, when they are adopted to high socioeconomic status, they gets the rich nutrition, good family background, and quality of schooling, and that is why their intelligence scores gets higher. Question number 8. Assertion is cognitive assessment system can be used to assess cognitive deficits in children with learning problems. CAS assesses the cognitive deficits. So the statement is true. The reason it consists of verbal and non-verbal tasks that measure the basic cognitive function. This is also true, and this is the right explanation because it is measuring the basic cognitive function. We are able to assess whether someone is having the cognitive deficit or not. So the answer for it will be A. That is, both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 9. Assertion. Psychological tests are widely used for clinical diagnosis, guidance, personal selection, placement, and training. The statement is correct. These are few uses of psychological tests. Reason is Objective tests provide a standardized and reliable measure of an individual psychological attribute. This statement is incorrect. It is not objective test, it is psychological test. So the answer for question number 9 will be that assertion is true but reason is false. That will be the C part. Question number 10. Formal assessment is objective, standardized, and organized. Now, assessment are of two types. One is formal and one is informal. Formal are the ones which are objective, standardized, and organized. They are the psychologists are trained in formal assessment, while the informal assessment are the one which are subjective, which depends upon case to case, assessor to assessor. Now, based on this information, choose the statements which are true for formal assessment. First is formal assessment uses systematic testing procedure. This is right. While we are doing the formal assessment, there is a particular steps that needs to be followed. It is always open to subjective interpretation. This is wrong. We are having the objectivity, not subjectivity. Based on the assessment, prediction about the behavior can be made. Definitely, when we do the assessment, we do it to understand the behavior, to predict the behavior, and provide intervention if required. It varies from case to case and from one assessor to another. Wrong. This is applicable for the informal assessment, not for the formal. So the correct answer for question number 10 will be A, 1 and 3rd. Question number 11. Jocelyn is high on critical thinking and can manipulate the symbols to solve the numerical problems. With these words, critical thinking, numerical problems, it indicates that Jocelyn is good in logical mathematical. She is also high on the ability to understand one's own feeling, motive, and desire. One's own means intrapersonal. So the answer for question number 11 will be D part, 2nd and 4th. Question number 12. Abdul realizes that intelligence tests are of several types. Which of the following are correct explanation? First is on the basis of administration procedure, they can be categorized as culture fear or cultural bias. Now this statement is wrong because based on the administration we divide it into individual or group. Second is they can also be classified as verbal or performance test on the basis of the nature of item. This is right. Nature of items we divide it as verbal, non-verbal or performance. Depending upon the extent to which an intelligence test favors one culture over another, it can be judged as individual or group test. This is wrong. Fourth is Abdul can choose a test depending on the purpose. This can be individual, group, verbal, non-verbal or performance test. This statement is correct. So the answer for question number 12 will be D. That is 2nd and 4th. Question number 13. The correlation between the intelligence test scores of identical twins is higher when they are raised together than when they are raised apart. This is right. Greater than that of the fraternal twins. This is also right. Now both these statements indicate that heredity is important. The third is lower than that of any other blood relatives. That is wrong. The same whether they are reared together or apart. Again it is wrong. So the answer for question number 13 will be B, 1st and 2nd. Question number 14. The distribution of IQ scores is approximately normal or bell-shaped. That's true. When we plot the graph between the IQ scores and the population, the graph that comes out is a normal shape or a bell-shaped curve. Falls off abruptly above 100. That's wrong statement. Reveals a difference in the average of men and women. Again, it is wrong. shows that most people score between 90 to 109. This is right. So the answer for question number 14 will be C, first and fourth. Question number 15. Angel is high on the ability to think analytically and critically. Therefore, she performs well in academic. She is most likely to possess the following. First, contextual intelligence, that is, the analysis of information to solve the problem. The statement is incorrect. Contextual means the practical intelligence. And analysis of information refers to the analytical intelligence or the componential intelligence. Second is componential intelligence has three components, each serving a different function. Right. Componential has three parts. One is acquiring the information, meta component, and performance component. Third is experimental intelligence, which is knowledge acquisition component. Experiential Experimental is a wrong word. Experiential is related to the creative intelligence. So this is an incorrect statement. Meta or a higher order component involves planning about what to do and how to do. This is a correct statement. Performance component involves actually doing the things. That is also correct. So the answer for question number 15 will be D, 2, 4 and 5. Thank you.